Moving on, President William Ruto has signed into law the National Infrastructure Fund Bill 2026, ushering in a new era of how government funds major key infrastructural development projects. The 5 trillion shilling kitty that will be operationalized by the act signed by the head of state at State House Nairobi has, however, been a subject of resistance by the opposition, who are now threatening to move to court to halt its operationalization. Jeff Kirui with the details.
Guest. President William Ruto has given his assent to the National Infrastructure Bill passed by the National Assembly just last week, signifying the importance of the new law that will help him realize his national development agenda heading into the 2027 general election.
Today's moment, therefore, represents more than a creation of a fund. It represents a new chapter in how Kenya finances its future. A chapter where we invest at scale in the foundation of a first world economy, transforming agriculture through extensive irrigation and water infrastructure, expanding modern infrastructure, including roads, rail, ports, airports, and logistic corridors that connect our farms, factories, and markets.
The new law is meant to source for approximately 5 trillion shillings over the next 10 years to finance the Kenya Kwanza administration ambitious infrastructural projects, shifting from the traditional method of debts.
Signing of the National Infrastructure Act into law is the wider delivery of the Kenya Kwanza manifesto as approved by Kenyans in the last election, and this was a promise which was in black and white in that manifesto.
The ambition of this initiative to catalyze up to 40 billion in infrastructure investments over the coming decade is not only bold, it reminds us of a fundamental truth. Africa is not a collection of small economies. Africa is the market.
We must build the future rather than wait for that future. The National Infrastructure Fund gives us the opportunity to build the future rather than wait for it.
With the assent, the battle now shifts to the corridors of justice. The united opposition is pushing to challenge it in court.
Already as we speak, we're in court over Safaricom, and we will be going to court on the 12th of March. So we will not just live on hope.
Some of the first projects earmarked for development is the expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. This following the initial attempt through the controversial Indian farmer Adani, which collapsed.
The contract for the expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, between 15 and 20 billion shillings from the National Infrastructure Fund, from the proceeds of the Kenya Pipeline IPO, will go to financing the seed money for the expansion of Jomo Kenyatta International Airport.
The opposition insists that the fund is not anchored in the Public Finance Management Act and is susceptible to misuse and mismanagement by the executive for political expediency.
In our honest view, they are creating a fund for his re-election. He wants 5 trillion shillings that is not approved by Parliament, that is not audited by the Auditor General.
Jeff Kirui, KTN.